General Ibrahim Babangida is a figure which is synonymous with power and controversy. He came to power in 1985 after staging one of the most spectacular coups in the history of Nigeria. After taking power, Babangida, whose charm and smiling nature made it easy for him to convince Nigerians, seemed to receive popular support. His immediate actions were also a complete opposite of his predecessor, General Muhammadu Buhari. But it wasn't long before his true nature started unfolding in front of every Nigerian. In this edition of Hispu Media, I reveal the untold story of General Ibrahim Babangida, the evil genius whose actions have a lasting impact on the Nigerian nation. From his rise to power as a military ruler, to the secret behind his controversial decisions, his political maneuverings, and the legacy of corruption that have come to define his rule. Please join me as we dive into the details. Gabriel here. Like a viable seed planted in a fertile soil, Ibrahim Babangida was born on August 17, 1941 in Minna, present-day Niger State. His parents were Muhammad Badamasi and Ina Aishatu Babangida. Born into an Islamic family, Babangida received early Islamic education before attending primary school at Native Authority School in Minna from 1950 to 1956. From 1957 to 1962, Babangida attended Government College Bida together with Abdusalami Abubakar, Muhammad Maguru, Sani Bello, Garba Duba, and a host of others. While in primary school, Babangida had his first brush with military world when army recruiters came to his school as part of a recruitment drive to encourage northern youths to join the army. But he was not allowed because of his age. However, he would have a second chance later. While at Government College Bida, the recruiters came again. This time, Babangida and 15 of his schoolmates, including Mamman Vasa, sat for the entrance exams for admission into the Nigerian Military Training College in Kaduna. On December 10, 1962, Babangida together with Mamman Vasa enrolled at the Nigerian Military Training College on the same day, passing out on April 28, 1963. Guys, this is the best time for you to like this video and subscribe to Hispu Media if you have not done so already. It will go a long way to support our effort. Thank you. After an initial induction at the Nigerian Military Training College, he was commissioned in September 1963 as a second lieutenant. From here, he proceeded to the Indian Military Academy. On his return from India, he was posted to the 1st Reconnaissance Squadron, Kaduna, where he served until January 1966. From here, Babangida proceeded to the Royal Armoured Center in United Kingdom for the Young Officers course. On his return to Nigeria after he had successfully completed the course, he was promoted to the rank of full lieutenant. He returned to the Royal Armoured Center where he was trained as an instructor in armoured driving and maintenance in 1967. In July 1968, he was appointed as a pioneer commander, the 44th Infantry Battalion, popularly called the Rangers. By August of 1968, he was elevated to the rank of captain and became a major in April 1970. Between October and November 1970, he was nominated for the Company Commander's course at Warminster in the United Kingdom. On completion of the course, he was appointed instructor and company commander at the Nigerian Defense Academy between 1970 and 1972. Between August 1972 and June 1973, Babangida successfully completed the Advanced Armored Officers course at the Army Armored School, Fort Knox, in the United States. Babangida served as a member of the Nigerian Army unit that was sent to quell the thief disturbances in the Middle Belt region. While serving under Hassan Katsina, a pivotal event occurred in Kaduna which changed Babangida's life forever. This event happened on January 15, 1966, when a group of young army majors overthrew the civilian government of Tafawa Balewa. Following the outbreak of the Civil War, Babangida was recalled and posted to the 1st Division under the command of General Mohammed Shua. By 1968, He became commander of the 44th Infantry Battalion, which was involved in heavy fighting within Biafran territory. In 1969, during a reconnaissance operation from Enugu to Umuahia, the battalion came under heavy enemy fire and Babangida was shot on the right side of his chest. He was then hospitalized in Lagos and was allegedly given the option of removing the bullet shrapnel, which he refused and still carried with him. Away and recovering from his wounds, Babangida married Mariam King on the 6th of September 1969. He returned to the war front in December 1969, commanding a battalion. In January 1970, Babangida was informed by his sectional commander, General Theophilus Danjuma, of the capitulation of the Biafran army to the federal military government in Lagos, signaling the end of the war. Although Babangida joined the Nigerian army in 1962 and was commissioned in 1963, he started featuring in socio-political activities in the top hierarchy of the army much earlier than most of his colleagues. In 1975, he was heavily involved in the coup that brought General Murtala Mohammed and General Olusegun Obasanjo into power. He was consequently appointed as one of the youngest members of the Supreme Military Council from August 1, 1975 to October 1979. During the 1976 coup that led to the assassination of General Murtala Mohammed, Babangida claimed to have single-handedly liberated the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria when his close friend and one of the coup plotters, Lieutenant Colonel Bukar Sukara Dimka, was making coup broadcasts over the airwaves. However, Dimka escaped from the radio station but was later captured, tried and executed. About 7 years later, Babangida helped to bring in the regime of General Muhammadu Buhari after overthrowing the elected president Shehu Shagari in 1983. But it wasn't long before deep dissatisfaction within the new regime led to another coup d'etat. This time, a bloodless and spectacular palace coup. On August 27, 1985, using mid-level officers, Babangida pushed General Muhammadu Buhari aside in a coup that was adjudged by many to be bloodless. Babangida was a government insider, serving as a chief of army staff and a member of the Supreme Military Council. His immediate speech after the coup was intended to end the human rights abuses perpetrated by the Buhari regime. Consequently, he released political prisoners and reversed the obnoxious Decree No. 4 of March 1984. He also intended to return to civil rule by 1990, but will extend the date by 2 years to give room for preparation. Babangida went on to become Nigeria's 6th military ruler, and as of 1990, he wielded so much power. After the coup, Muhammadu Buhari was kept under house arrest in Benin City until 1988. Though his predecessor Muhammadu Buhari was stern and resolute, Babangida was somewhat more methodical, deft, and tactical with a different leadership style. He was reported to have played a role in all the coups that have taken place in Nigeria before that time, which arguably could explain his deeper understanding of Nigeria and Nigerians, as well as his confident handling of Nigerian issues. Nonetheless, Babangida was unpredictable. But his regime came to be associated with so much corruption, human rights abuses, and suppression of opposition and the media. Ruling by decree as has been the norm, Babangida promulgated his official title as the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He established the Armed Forces Ruling Council, the AFRC, as the highest lawmaking body of the regime. He also restructured the national security apparatus, taking General Aliyu Gusau as coordinator of national security. He was reporting to him directly. The regime also established the State Security Service (SSS), the National Intelligence Agency (NIA), and the Defense Intelligence Agency, the DIA. Meanwhile, shortly after coming into power, General Ibrahim Babangida established the Nigerian Political Bureau of 1986. The Bureau was inaugurated to conduct a national debate on the political future of Nigeria and was charged with identifying basic problems that have led to Nigeria's failure in the past. It was empowered to suggest ways of resolving and coping with these problems. It happened that this exercise was the broadest political consultation conducted in Nigeria's history to that time. Owing to the economic crisis and recession inherited from the Buhari regime, Babangida was convinced by the International Monetary Fund (IMF) to adopt the Structural Adjustment Program (SAP) in 1986. This was followed by mass mobilization for self-reliance, social justice and economic recovery (MAMSA) in 1987. The policies aimed to deregulate the agricultural sector, devalue the currency, encourage investment, privatize government enterprises, reduce waste, among others. By 1988, the economy actually saw some growth, but falling wages and a reduction in expenditure on public services led to hardship among the general public, leading to rioting and protest. Meanwhile, a number of infrastructural projects were also undertaken by the Babangida regime. His administration completed the Third Mainland Bridge, Shiroro Hydroelectric Power Station, the dualization of the Kaduna-Kano Highway, the construction of Toja Bridge in Kebbi, and many other projects. He also established the Federal Road Safety Corps. On the 23rd of September 1987, Babangida created two states, including Akwa Ibom State and Katsina State. About 4 years later, on the 27th of August 1991, the regime created 9 more states, including Abia, Enugu, Delta, Jigawa, Kebbi, Osun, Kogi, Taraba, and Yobe states. This brought the total number of states in Nigeria to 30 by 1991. By December 1991, Babangida completed the process for the relocation of the seat of power from Lagos to Abuja. This process was hastened after a coup attempt by Major Gideon Oka in April 1990 was quickly contained in Lagos. Oka was arrested along with some of his co-conspirators, tried and executed. Meanwhile, it is important to remind you here that Babangida had earlier executed his friend and former classmate for attempted coup in March 1986. Babangida may still hold the record as a head of state with the highest recorded judicial executions in Nigeria's history. On the foreign scene, however, Babangida did not do badly. The Babangida's regime strengthened Nigeria's foreign relations. He rejected apartheid in South Africa, involved Nigerian troops in the Liberian Civil War as part of ECOMOG. His regime also hosted the Abuja Treaty, which gave rise to the African Union and enhanced relations with the United States and the United Kingdom. His predecessor Muhammadu Buhari had damaged relations with the United Kingdom, in particular with the handling of the DICO affairs. By 1986, Nigeria became a member of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. While this move was welcomed in a Muslim-dominated northern Nigeria, it generated controversy in the Christian-dominated south and was likened to an Islamization agenda. Amid this controversy, his second-in-command, Commodore Ibitu Ukiwe, was removed as Chief of General Staff for opposing this decision. However, Babangida later announced that Nigeria had suspended its membership of the Islamic organization. Meanwhile, one of the incidences that further destroyed the reputation of the Babangida regime was the assassination of Dele Giwa. The renowned journalist was killed with a letter bomb that was allegedly labeled from the CNC. To this day, the killers have not been apprehended. When General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida began his unending political transition in 1989, he authorized the formation of 2 political parties. Consequently, the Social Democratic Party (SDP) and the National Republican Convention (NRC) were formed, with elections scheduled to hold in 1992. By July 1992, parliamentary elections held as planned, with the Social Democratic Party winning majority in both national houses. Between August and September 1992, the SDP and the NRC held presidential primaries. But on October 16, 1992, the results of both primaries were cancelled. The government accused both parties of electoral malpractices, dissolved both party executives, and barred their candidate from contesting again. After the parties were rejected and their candidate changed to Abiola for SDP and Bashar Tofa for NRC, the presidential election was finally held on June 12, 1993. Abiola was coasting home to victory when the unthinkable happened. Before official result could be announced, the election was annulled. The annulment of the June 12 elections led to widespread protest and political unrest, especially in Abiola's stronghold of the southwest. Babangida claimed that elections were annulled due to national security considerations, but could not specify the issue. However, because of the lingering crisis of the June 12 annulment, Babangida stepped aside in August 1993. Babangida would explain later, quote, "If June 12 materialized, there would have been a violent coup d'etat. That is all I can confirm," he concluded. But why was Ibrahim Babangida given the name Evil Genius and the Maradona? Well, speaking on how he acquired the nicknames of Evil Genius and Maradona, the former head of state said the sobriquets were manufactured by the media because of his deft political moves. He said, unquote, "They called me Evil Genius. I marveled at that. The contradiction. You can't be evil and then a genius at the same time." As a founding member of the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, Babangida was instrumental in the transition to democracy in 1999 after General Sani Abacha died in office 2 years earlier. On the 8th of November 2006, General Ibrahim Babangida bought nomination form to contest the 2007 presidential election under the People's Democratic Party in Abuja. But in December of the same year, just before the presidential primaries, Babangida withdrew his candidacy, citing the moral dilemma of running against Umaru Musa Yar'Adua. He would later announce the intention of running for president again in 2011, but was persuaded by his military inner circle to shelve the idea. And he did. Babangida is rumored to be worth over $5 billion. Although billions of dollars of oil windfall have been attributed to General Ibrahim Babangida, the allegations have never been proven with watertight evidences. Click the video displayed here for details on how General Ibrahim Babangida executed his best friend and former classmate Mamman Vasa in a coup attempt in 1986. Don't forget to book the like button on this video and subscribe to Hispu Media. It will go a long way to support our effort, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you very much for watching. Peace.